There are betrayals in life that cut so deep, you don't even bleed. My name is Elaine Richards. I'm 58 years old, a mother of 2 grown kids, and for most of my adult life, I ran a modest but successful logistics company I built from scratch. I was never flashy about it. I was never the kind of person who needed recognition or awards. I just wanted to build something solid, something lasting, something that was mine. I never imagined the person who would burn it all down would be the one I called my 3rd child. Tyler wasn't mine by blood, but he might as well have been. His mother, Melissa, was my best friend since college. We were each other's chosen family. She and her husband died in a car crash when Tyler was just 12. He had no other family to help. There was no question in my mind. I took him in. My kids, Sam and Leah, accepted him immediately. We were a unit. He called me Auntie Elaine for years, until one day he just started calling me Mom. And I let him. I was proud of what I gave Tyler. Private school, family vacations, mentoring him through his rough teen years. He had a rebellious streak, sure, but I chalked it up to grief. I thought love could patch the cracks. When he showed an interest in business, I brought him into my company. At first, it was small tasks, filing, deliveries, ride-alongs. Then later, as he matured, logistics planning, client meetings, strategy. By the time he was 25, he was a junior partner in name, but everyone could see he was being groomed to eventually run the show. I was nearing my 50s, dealing with a flare-up of an autoimmune condition, and I wanted someone I trusted to take over. It never crossed my mind that he could be playing the long game. The betrayal came in the most humiliating way possible. One Monday morning, I arrived at my office and found my keycard didn't work. Confused, I buzzed the receptionist, who looked awkward but let me in. "Tyler said you were on a leave of absence," she said, avoiding eye contact. Inside, my nameplate was gone. My office had been stripped bare. My family photos, my awards, my desk. I walked in to find Tyler sitting in my chair. "Elaine," he said casually, as if we were meeting for lunch. "You weren't supposed to come in today." He handed me a packet. Legal documents. He had filed paperwork to become the majority shareholder while I was sick. He claimed I was mentally unfit to lead. He even had a doctor's note from a practitioner I'd never met. "You don't need the stress," he said. "This is for your own good." My hands trembled. I couldn't speak. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. Then he called security. I was escorted out of my own building like a stranger. My son Sam was ready to call the cops. Leah was in tears. They wanted to fight, to sue, to expose him. But I told them no. I was humiliated. But it was more than that. I was hurt, deep in my bones. I had given this boy everything, and he took it, and more, with a smile. I decided to disappear. I sold my house, moved 3 towns over, and changed my number. I didn't scream. I didn't fight. I didn't post on social media. But the pain in my heart made sure that I remembered. The first 6 months were pure survival. I moved into a small studio above a bakery run by a kind widow named Marie. She had no idea who I was. To her, I was just a quiet woman who helped her unload flour and sweep the sidewalk. I took long walks and tried to heal. I felt invisible, and for a time I wanted to be. But silence has a way of sharpening your instincts. And one night, watching the sunset from the fire escape, I realized I hadn't lost my skills. I hadn't lost my mind. I'd just been robbed. So I decided to take back what was mine. Not the company, not the building, something bigger. Myself. I started small. First, I opened a new LLC under the name EJR Consulting. I made no public announcements. I started consulting. Small businesses mostly. I picked up projects helping people clean up their supply chains, organize inventory systems, and improve delivery routes. All from that second-hand laptop and a fold-out table. Marie's son, Marcus, was a web designer. He offered to build me a basic site in exchange for helping him optimize his online shipping model. Word spread quickly. Apparently, I had a reputation for being efficient, reliable, and honest. In less than a year, I had clients lining up. I hired an assistant, then another. We rented a small office in a co-working building and turned it into our base. It was humble, but it was alive. Meanwhile, whispers of Tyler's failure reached me through the grapevine. He was erratic and temperamental. He had fired long-time staff. He took risks with inventory. Then he started a flashy rebrand that alienated core clients. He even tried launching an AI logistics app with someone he met at a conference. It flopped. And still, I stayed quiet. Then came the scandal. One of my former senior managers, whom Tyler had fired out of spite, emailed me in confidence. "He's been cooking the books," she wrote, "pulling in offshore investors under fake numbers. It's only a matter of time." I advised her to document everything, quietly, carefully. Within 6 months, the SEC began sniffing around, but Tyler didn't slow down. He doubled down. He began blaming former employees in the media. He spun stories about a smear campaign. Clients began to leave him. Most came to me. I didn't gloat. But when they asked where I'd gone, I simply said, I never left. I just started over. The final act came 4 years after he stole the company. I was nominated for a National Businesswoman Leadership Award. It was the kind of event I never used to attend, but my daughter Leah wouldn't let me skip it. "Mom," she said, holding up a red dress that shimmered like silk, "you rebuilt your business from ashes. You deserve to be recognized." So I went, nervous, but calm. The ballroom was gold and velvet, full of movers and shakers. Tyler was there. He looked terrible, gaunt, twitchy. There were rumors that his company was weeks away from bankruptcy. He tried to pretend he didn't see me, but everyone else did. I won the award. When I took the stage, I paused, looked out at the sea of faces. "I once lost everything," I said. "And the person who took it was someone I loved like my own son. But I didn't fight back with lawsuits. I didn't go public. I rebuilt, quietly, strongly. And now, we're here." I glanced at Tyler. He looked like he wanted to vanish. Sometimes the best revenge isn't destruction, it's dignity. There was a standing ovation, but karma wasn't done. 6 months later, Tyler was arrested. He had committed fraud, tax evasion, insider trading. And it turned out that the tech investment he bragged about was a shell operation he used to siphon investor money. He blamed me during the hearing. He said I'd set him up. But the judge wasn't buying it. He was sentenced to 11 years in federal prison. No parole for the first 5. I didn't celebrate, but I did donate to a prison education nonprofit in his name. Marie baked a lemon cake that day. I still walk past my old company's building sometimes. It's been sold. The sign has changed. But I don't feel bitterness anymore. I feel power, because I've rebuilt something real, because I've lived with betrayal, and didn't let it break me, and because I won.